The dragon's choice. In the shadow of a crumbling king's landing, ash swirling in the wind. Jon Snow stands before Daenerys Targaryen, her silver hair streaked with soot, her violet eyes blazing with betrayal. Drogon, her last dragon, looms behind her, his scales glinting like molten obsidian, while the Unsullied form a silent spear-lined wall to her left, led by Grey Worm, in black leather armor, with a red sash marking his rank as their leader, and the Dothraki shift restlessly on horseback to her right. The air crackles with tension. Jon has just refused to bend the knee, his honor clashing with her vision of a unified realm forged in fire. "You'd rather see the world burn than kneel to me," Daenerys hisses, her voice trembling with rage. "I gave you everything, Jon. My heart, my dragons, my throne, and you repay me with treachery?" Jon's face is stone, but his eyes flicker with pain. "I never wanted a throne, Dany. I wanted peace. You've lost yourself to this." Her laugh is sharp, cutting through the silence. "Lost myself? No, Jon. I've found my destiny." She steps back, her gaze hardening as she turns to the Unsullied. "Seize him," she commands, her voice a whip crack. The Unsullied advance, their spears lowered, their steps eerily synchronized, Grey Worm at the forefront, his red sash stark against his black armor, his spear aimed at Jon. The Dothraki cheer, eager for blood, their araks gleaming in the dim light. But before they reach Jon, Drogon roars, a sound that shakes the earth and halts the Unsullied in their tracks. The dragon lunges forward, planting himself between Jon and the soldiers, his massive wings flaring. His amber eyes burn with defiance, and a blast of hot breath scatters the nearest Unsullied, sending their spears clattering to the ground. Grey Worm, undeterred, steps forward, his spear raised, shouting, "For the Queen!" But Drogon's gaze locks onto him, a snarl curling his lips. With a swift turn of his head, Drogon unleashes a torrent of fire, engulfing Grey Worm in a blazing inferno. His black armor melts, his red sash ignites, and within moments he's reduced to a pile of ash, his spear clattering to the ground. The remaining Unsullied falter, their disciplined line broken, while the Dothraki's horses rear in panic. Daenerys' face twists in fury. "What is this?" she snarls, stepping toward Drogon. "Obey me! Kill him!" She points at Jon, her voice rising to a frantic scream. "Dracarys!" Time slows. Drogon's head swivels, his gaze locking onto Jon for a heartbeat. The dragon rears back, jaws parting, and the Unsullied brace themselves for the fire. Jon grips Longclaw, ready to face his fate, but the flames never come. Instead, Drogon's eyes snap back to Daenerys. A low growl rumbles in his throat, and before she can scream again, his jaws clamp down on her waist. The Unsullied gasp, the Dothraki fall silent, and Jon stumbles back as Drogon bites down harder, severing Daenerys in two. Her body collapses in a heap, blood pooling beneath the shattered Iron Throne, her reign extinguished in an instant. Drogon lets out a mournful wail, his head dipping as if in sorrow, then spreads his wings and soars into the sky. The Unsullied drop their spears, their loyalty broken, while the Dothraki scatter into the ruins, leaderless and lost. Jon stands alone amidst the chaos, his breath ragged, his eyes fixed on the spot where Daenerys fell. Then, slowly, he turns. The Iron Throne, or what's left of it, stands jagged and twisted in the distance, bathed in the faint glow of a dying sun. His steps are heavy, deliberate as he approaches it. The wind carries whispers of the past, of Aegon, of Rhaegar, of a legacy he once denied. He stops before the throne, his hand resting on Longclaw's hilt, and for the first time, resolve hardens into something greater, purpose. "This ends with me," he says, voice steady. He sits, claiming his rightful place, not as a conqueror, but as a king forged by loss and duty.